What happens when the most colourful player in NBA history, a man who partied harder than any rock star and won 5 NBA titles, finds himself broken, owing hundreds of thousands in back child support? This is the wild rise and financial collapse of Dennis Rodman, better known as the Worm. His story is as jaw-dropping as his outfits, and far more tragic than most people realize.
Pretty much covers everybody done it. I want to get you the bulk of my playing days. It wasn't Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman's early life gave no hints that he would become a global icon. Born in Trenton, New Jersey in 1961, Rodman's childhood was marked by instability. His father abandoned the family when he was just a child, leaving his mother to raise Dennis and his siblings on her own. He wasn't particularly tall, strong, or even athletic in his teen years. In fact, after graduating high school, he was working as a janitor at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, unsure of what to do next, but life had other plans. A sudden growth spurt pushed Rodman to 6'7", and he found his way onto a basketball court, first at a junior college, then at Southeastern Oklahoma State University. It was a tiny school with no national attention, but Rodman lit it up. He averaged over 25 points and 15 rebounds a game, dominating with pure energy and hustle. Scouts took notice, and in 1986, the Detroit Pistons selected him in the second round of the NBA draft. Detroit was the perfect match for Rodman. The Pistons were nicknamed the Bad Boys for a reason. They played tough physical basketball and thrived on defense and intimidation. Rodman fit right in. He wasn't flashy. He didn't care about scoring. He focused on rebounding, shutting down opponents, and diving for loose balls. That effort turned him into a star, even among a team stacked with talent. Rodman won 2 NBA championships with Detroit in 1989 and 1990. He was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year twice. But the fame that came with success also started to change him. Off the court, Rodman felt lost. He battled depression and struggled with the pressures of his growing celebrity status. In 1993, shortly after being traded to the San Antonio Spurs, Rodman tried to end his life in a parking lot. Fortunately, he survived, and that moment became a turning point. After that, Rodman embraced a new identity. He dyed his hair every color imaginable. He started wearing piercings, tattoos, and outrageous clothing. His relationships with Madonna and later Carmen Electra kept him in the headlines almost as much as his rebounding totals. On the court, he was still elite. Off the court, he was a whirlwind. When he joined the Chicago Bulls in 1995, Rodman's life reached its peak. Alongside Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, he helped the Bulls win 3 straight championships from 1996 to 1998. Rodman led the league in rebounds for 7 consecutive seasons. He was a nightmare for opposing teams and a dream for TV ratings. But the chaos never stopped. He skipped practices, got ejected from games, and famously took a mid-season trip to Las Vegas to party. The Bulls tolerated it because he produced, but once the dynasty ended, so did Rodman's relevance in the league. After brief, unremarkable stints with the Lakers and Mavericks, Rodman's NBA career was essentially over by 2000. He played a few games overseas and in smaller leagues, but it was clear his days of glory were behind him. Unfortunately, his spending habits weren't. Rodman had earned close to $30 million in NBA salaries and millions more through endorsements and public appearances. But the money didn't last. Rodman lived fast. Expensive cars, luxury homes, wild parties and entourages that traveled everywhere with him. He was generous to a fault, giving money away to people who didn't always have his best interest at heart. He also lacked financial guidance. Rodman didn't have a trusted advisor or stable support system. While other athletes invested wisely or built businesses, Rodman seemed to spend without a plan. By the late 2000s, the financial troubles had caught up. In 2012, Rodman made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Court documents revealed that he owed over $800,000 in unpaid child and spousal support. His lawyer claimed Rodman was extremely sick and broke. It was a shocking moment. The man who once ruled the NBA's paint now couldn't afford to pay for his children's care. It wasn't just bad luck. Rodman had been exploited. He trusted the wrong people with his money, didn't track where it went, and lived with a false sense of endless fame and fortune. He wasn't robbed at gunpoint. He was robbed by poor planning, by fame's distractions, and by those who saw him as a walking bank account. What made Rodman's downfall even sadder was that he didn't seem to fully grasp the consequences until it was too late. His lifestyle had become his identity, and when the money dried up, so did many of the people around him. Friends disappeared, opportunities vanished, and the headlines that once celebrated him now mocked his collapse. But Dennis Rodman is nothing if not resilient. He never disappeared. He kept showing up on reality TV, in wrestling rings, at wild public events, and even on global stages most would never expect. In one of the most bizarre chapters of his life, Rodman developed a strange friendship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Their meetings made headlines worldwide and left people scratching their heads. While it didn't bring financial stability, it reminded the world that Rodman was still around. In 2020, he appeared in the hit documentary The Last Dance, which chronicled the Chicago Bulls' final championship season. Rodman's wild antics during that era, like going to Vegas mid-season, became viral stories once again, bringing him a new wave of attention. In more recent years, Rodman has taken steps toward rebuilding. He's been open about his struggles with addiction, his regrets, and his lack of financial planning. He's spoken about the importance of mental health, and even tried to mentor younger athletes about avoiding the mistakes he made. Rodman's story is far from over, but it serves as a powerful warning about fame, money, and the speed with which it can all disappear. For every moment he gave fans on the court, every rebound, every scuffle, every dive to the floor, he paid a price off it. He wasn't just a basketball player, he was a show, a force, a man who lived loudly and unapologetically. And that, perhaps, is what makes his financial collapse so difficult to watch. It wasn't just dollars he lost. It was trust, relationships, peace of mind. Dennis Rodman should have retired a rich, eccentric legend. Eccentric, yes, but financially secure. Instead, he became a symbol of how fast it can all crumble without the right foundation. Still, there's something enduring about him. Rodman's legacy remains. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a key figure in NBA history. Young fans still wear his number 91. He's proof that you don't need to score 30 points a night to be unforgettable. His story isn't just a sports story, it's a life story. One of pain and persistence, of highs that touched the stars and lows that dug deep into the earth, of a man who broke every rule and paid for it, but who somehow is still standing. If you found Dennis Rodman's journey as shocking, inspiring, or heartbreaking as we did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more real stories from the world of sports. Drop a comment below. Do you think Rodman could have avoided this fall, or was it written in the stars from the beginning? And if you know someone chasing fame without a plan, send them this video, because sometimes the biggest cautionary tales come from the biggest stars. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.